The current conditions for San Angelo and Tom Green County as far as the fire goes is extreme today. We're going to have high gusty winds, we're going to have low humidity, and we've had no measurable precipitation to say. So those, and of course our heat is going up. It's going to be up in the 99 to 100 degree range again today. So those are the three things that we look at that cause us more problem, is the wind, the low humidity, and the high temperatures. And when those get the way they are right now, hot winds, hot southwest winds blowing with low humidity, we have extreme fire danger. The extreme fire danger comes from all of the fuel that we have out there to burn, including homes, vacant lots that have not been manicured, taken care of, the grass mowed, weeds taken care of, that sort of thing. And we have areas within our own city limits, such as right out here around the lake and other areas in San Angelo, that we consider to be urban interface problems, where a wildfire can get started right in our own city limits. So that's one reason the city is in the burn ban that it is in right now.
We are dry, and it is because of deficit of rainfall. That's the main issue, that we just haven't received a lot of rain this year. We're approximately 4 inches below normal for the year this year, and this time last year we were about 3.5 inches above normal. So it's a lot different situation than we were in last year. May is usually one of our wetter months, and we've seen a couple of rainfall events, so we have seen a little bit of an uptick in rainfall. But we get into the summer, and we oftentimes will get an upper level ridge that will set up over us, and that kind of suppresses rainfall chances. It's not to say we won't see rain, because we normally do see a couple of events at least during the summer, but it just it limits the coverage and the number of times we can see rain. In late December, and you see for the 2 months ending December 28th, percent of normal, we're at about 25%. And as we go forward, we stay in that range, and then you can see we start to get a little bit better. We saw a little bit of rainfall during the winter months, as we were talking about earlier. And we actually got right around normal, 75 to 100% in the city anyway. And north of the city, we actually had greater than normal precipitation. And then we keep going through the spring months, and that dwindles away. And then we're back to 10 to 25%. And then April, the month that was the worst for us, we're down to less than 5% of normal for that 2-month period, starting at the beginning of or ending at the beginning of April. Close to 25%, but still well below normal on a running 2-month average. And since we've been getting less than we should for each 2-month period for quite some time now, and that builds up, and that's why we're in such a severe drought. A red flag warning is issued whenever we have 20-foot wind speeds of 20 miles an hour or greater. We have relative humidity values of less than 20%, and we have high fire danger or worse. We're either in high or very high fire danger at the moment. And that is a day-to-day thing. It depends on recent rainfall, things like that, overall drought conditions, fuel conditions. We have had quite a few events this year where we've seen pretty good winds, over 20 miles an hour. And along with the prolonged dry period that we've seen this winter, anytime you have those winds, coupled with very warm temperatures and the low relative humidities, the red flag warning conditions are really kind of ramped up. When we have a red flag warning out, it's best to try to limit as much as possible any kind of outdoor activity that would result in any kind of flames or sparks or anything like that.
It's just extremely dry, not out in the county, not out in the city of San Angelo, in the entire portion of West Texas. it's just tinderbox dry out there, and we have to be extremely cautious. And these bans that we're putting on are to let the public know just how extreme it is. We go about our daily lives, and if you're not directly associated with what we're looking at on all of these indices every day from the National Weather Service, the Texas Forest Service, the National Forest Service, the drought indexes that we see, you really just don't understand how extremely dangerous our weather conditions are right now.
The energy release component right now is at record high, and it is a measure of how hot a fire can burn in very basic terms. And right now we're above our record levels here and in the Abilene area as well. For our area, for the San Angelo area, Tom Green, Concho Valley area. And the normal value is or average value is in gray. And the thick green line is our current, or so far this year, or actually from March up to present. And then the red line, the thin red line, is the all-time high for whatever period we're in. And as you can see back here in April, we were we were almost off the chart as far as energy release component goes, and we're still up above the all-time high, which is right there in the red line. We've fallen below the 97th percentile, which is another key indicator of how intense fires can burn, but we're still above the all-time high in between the 90th and 97th percentile.
We had our wildfire, the devastating Wildcat Fire, and the fire over at the Encino Fire in the western part of Tom Green County. And you know, this is not June, July, and August. We've still got those 3 months that are summertime months where we usually don't get a lot of rain, and we get hot temperatures, low humidities, and as we said earlier, the high winds, the low humidity, and the hot temperatures are the three things that are going to cause us a problem with wildfire.
Getting rainfall, receiving rainfall is a double-edged sword here. It's nice to get the rainfall, and it helps our lawns and things like that, but since we're inches behind on our yearly total, we need inches and inches of rainfall for it to make a significant impact, a meaningful impact on our drought conditions. The other side of us getting rainfall here in Texas in the spring is often that it's accompanied by lightning. And the Wildcat Fire was actually started by lightning. And for a couple of days it smoldered, and it was out in desolate land, and probably wasn't noticed until we had a day of windy conditions, and it was able to spread very rapidly.